Hi. Okay, so in this video I'm going to be explaining my daydreams just in greater detail. I was going to wait and do this video until I finished with my explaining my life having maladaptive daydreaming, but this one has kind of been requested of me already, and I know a lot of people want to hear this, so, and I totally get that, I do. So I'm going to go ahead and do this video before I finish up my explanation videos. So, okay, to begin, I'm just gonna kind of pick up where I left off. Okay, I started daydreaming about 6 or 7 years old, or maladaptive daydreaming, at least. Okay, it was really weird. Like, I still kind of remember the first time I ever started a storyline, which is kind of crazy, honestly. It was so long ago. But I was swinging on the swing in my backyard, and I was looking up at the sky, and I noticed that there were two sets of clouds, right? Like, over on, the left side, there were, these dark storm clouds, and over on the right side, there were, these white, fluffy clouds, and, my weird child brain came up, with a storyline about that. And, yeah, it was really weird. Like, my first ever characters were not, people or based on anything, really, except, clouds. Okay, so my first rough daydream was about, two clouds, and the clouds were brothers, and they had weird names. I called them 1 Day and 2 Day, and, 2 Day was the dark stormy cloud, and 1 Day was the fluffy cloud, and I also, they also had nicknames. The fluffy cloud was the good old days, and, I was 6, okay, and, what was his name? 2 Day was, the new days, I don't know. Yeah, it was a weird daydream. Anyway, they were brothers, and they didn't know they were brothers, and, the entire thing was just about them finding out that they were brothers, and it was really weird to them that they were brothers, because, 2 Day was always associated with being evil, and nobody liked him. He was a storm cloud, and 1 Day was associated with good things, and it was just a weird storyline that I came up with, and, over the course of years, it got, insane. I might, yeah, I'm just gonna go back to that later. So, my first storyline developed and developed and developed. Eventually, all the characters weren't clouds anymore, they were people, and they were kind of mixed in with a whole bunch of different, people I saw over the years, either through movies, it gave them a name, a different appearance, a different personality trait, but it was still kind of the same original, blueprint almost. And so I worked on that main storyline, and the main storyline changed a lot, but, hold on, I always, for a long time, stuck with the main storyline, even though it would change a lot, and, the same people, I would just grow them out and, make them become more complex. But as time went on, I kind of, broke off from the main storyline, and I kind of developed, other storylines. At first, they were all in the same universe, and they almost directly correlated to the main storyline, but, and then eventually, some of them, I just couldn't make them fit. Even though the universe was big and crazy that I created, I just could not, make them fit, so I just, created like whole new storylines, and some of those other storylines are actually pretty big now. I've been working on them for like 4 years, some of them, but they're still not as big as my main storyline, which I've been working on for like 15, almost 16 years now. That storyline, oh, it's just crazy. I think in another video I'm going to explain what happens in the actual storylines a little bit better, because that would just take forever if I did it in this video. But, yeah, so, to put it in further detail, in the main storyline universe, like, I know almost everything, and I go back, like, it's not linear, like, I knew what happened at the very end of their universe, like, seriously, the end of time, like, quite a while ago, and then I went back and I filled in a gap here, and then I even went back and I filled in a gap, like, way in the past, and I filled in even a character storyline gap, which usually I do those right away, but, I don't know, it's just weird, because you can go back and, like, fill stuff in and make the story even better, and really, it's really, really complicated right now, to say the least. Like, yeah, I have books written in their world, I have TV shows, I have, like, just so many characters, it's crazy, like, and then, like, my characters, like, sometimes I have, like, a new character, and I know what their personality is, but, like, sometimes I don't have, like, the right look for them yet, so I'll just, like, use, like, someone who happened to be on the TV that day, and I'll use that person to be, like, how they look like, but it could be, like, a completely different personality, or I could have, like, know what they look like and their personality, but, like, usually what I do is I don't name them right away. Like, I'll give them a placeholder name. Like, I'll call, like, 10 different characters all Felix. Like, Felix number 1, Felix number 2, Felix number 3. And, like, they'll all be named Felix, right? But, until I can come up with a better name for them. And sometimes I don't come up with a better name for them, so they just all have these weird placeholder names, and, like, sometimes they don't even have names at all. Like, if I don't, like, go back into that storyline enough, like, I'm more interested in the story than, like, their name, so it's, like, every time I call them out, and, like, sometimes they have different names, like, sometimes the same character would be called Felix, and, like, a few, like, lines later, they'll be called Daniel or something, like, I don't know, like, just that type of thing, like, it's, like, I'm more interested, like, when I'm daydreaming of, like, two things, like, the story building, the reaction, that's a big thing, the reaction that the characters get from each other, because it's, like, I can feel their reaction, and, like, both of their personalities are so different, like, it's and, like, I don't know, just their, like, merging of, like, especially conflict, like, when one is, like, ranting to the other, or, like, the other one is, like, pleading to the other, like, or in, like, a big group giving, like, a giant speech or something, like, those are my favorite types of daydreams. And then, like, I have a really crazy daydream where it's the end of the universe, right, and, I have this for 2 different ones. I planned out the end of the universe for 2 separate occasions, and it also loops back on each other, but, okay, so, it's like, there's no more stars, and, like, there was this big, like, conversation about that. It was just like, Michael, you don't even know, like, I was born in the time of stars, and you were born in eternal darkness, and, like, you know, like, a really emo conversation, like, you don't know how nice it was, and now there will never be any stars again, you don't know what light looks like, all the, you know, because, in my daydream, they were circling this black hole, and that was the only thing left, and that's how they were getting their energy, but, they weren't scared or anything, because they had, like, these crazy supercomputers. This was, like, the end of the universe. They had amazing technology. And they were figuring out a way to, like, make a matrix where it didn't matter if the universe ended or not. They could just go into their perfect place, but they hadn't got all the calculations right. Anyway, so this phase shift happened, and, like, and they couldn't tell. Like, they used, what is it, entangled particles to see what was going on in different parts of the universe, but they just so happened to, like, not, the entangled particle didn't react to what was happening over there because it was just a completely different set of laws of physics that was like slowly coming in a wave, and the wave was so strong that it pushed them over the event horizon. Not all of them. There were many different things like stations encircling the black hole, but the place where all the information, like the supercomputers were, it got pushed into the black hole. And they were like, oh my god, all the information was down there, we can't ever get it back, we're just fucked, we're gonna die with the universe, we can't get it back. But they were still trying, because what else could they do? Anyway, time was going on and on and on. They're like, we don't have enough energy to do this, it's hopeless. And then there happened to be another phase shift, and it came, and they're like, oh my god, this one's different, this one's bringing a whole new wave of energy, and the universe is not going to die, but only one person has enough energy to make it through this, because they're saving these they developed a weird way to harnessed energy, and it was from all the atoms in the room. Anyway, everyone in that room, and they were immortals at this point, because oh, this wasn't in Johnny's. So, oh, you don't even know who that is. Johnny is like one of my main characters that I had forever. He's actually who One Day was. He just transferred into a human. Anyway, this wasn't in the main universe's universe yet. This was in the universe before that universe. Anyway, so they all had to sacrifice themselves to get enough energy to like make them go through the slate and then into the new universe. And then it was a really eventful moment, because when the new universe started, obviously the newborn, it was the youngest that they chose to go into the next universe. Anyway, so it was really crazy. Like, he had never seen stars before, and just out of nowhere, it just, the stars started going off, you know, with the whole new universe, and it was just all around him, and he was alone. Like, he had been with these people for like billions of years. These people that were sorry, it's really complicated, but he was alone, and he had also seen stars going off for the first time, and because the universe was so small and condensed, it was just all around him like a glittering thing. And then he saw galaxies being born, and then he waited on a purple planet for a while next to a quasar, or not a quasar, a pulsar, and it was just like, I don't know, I put really beautiful imagery in that daydream. I wish I could like actually like, because it was really beautiful, that daydream. But anyway, so now he is on my main character's version of Earth. I don't have the main storyline in our version of Earth, because it wouldn't make any sense. Like, that version of Earth is like so different. But yeah, that's like one of the things. And I also have that gonna happen again for my main storyline's universe. Plus I have other like tiny universes that just couldn't fit into the main universe. Yeah, anyway, I'll go back later and explain like my main storyline if I can, because that might be interesting too. But that was like the beginning sort of. In my daydream, the thing is like infinite, but and plus it goes on and on and on. Like, there's not just a realm of multiverses, there's like a realm of things that hold multiverses, and then there's like another realm of it's crazy. Like one of the people, I call him the boatmaster. He lives in I call it the slate, and it's just the realm that holds all the universes. He's just all, you don't have any idea how deep this goes. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I've just been working on it for so long. Like, it takes forever to even, like, that I just explained to you is like such a very, very small portion of like even just that story. But yeah, anyway, so those are kind of the contexts of which I daydream about. Like I said, I have a lot of characters, and I'll explain those ones in another video. But, okay, I also want to explain, like, how I daydream. My daydreaming is actually pretty radical. I'm probably, like, on the, very, like, edge of the scale for most maladaptive daydreamers, I bet, because, like, I can control myself, right? Like, usually, like, if I go for more than a couple days without daydreaming, it's really uneasy for me. Like, I feel kind of tense after that, but I can do it. It's just, it feels very uneasy for me. And, if it's, like, longer than, like, a week, I start to really, like, I start to just do it anyway. Like, I won't, like, act it out, but, like, I'll really, like, I'll just be, like, falling off, you know? Like, I'll be in this universe 1 second, I'll just be, like, you know, disappearing the next. But, for the most part, I can, I don't know, like, I don't have to, unless something really stressful or, like, triggering comes on, you know, or, like, a new movie. Like, sometimes movies don't catch and I just don't feel a need to daydream about them. But, like, sometimes they do, and if they do, then, oh my gosh, I feel like I just need to daydream. And, yeah, see, that's the thing, too. Like, watching a movie, like, I have to pause it a bunch of times, or even just let it go and just accept that I'm gonna miss, like, most of the movie, because I'm, like, I have to daydream about it, so I pace back and forth, and I daydream about the movie. Or if I'm trying to read a book, honestly, I don't really read books that much anymore, because, I don't know, most of the books bother me. It's just, how I am. They all have to end, like, in the saddest freaking way ever, like, all of them. And, I've never been a fan of that. But, anyway, if I'm reading a book, I have to, like, sometimes I read, like, a couple of sentences, and then I pause it, and I'm like, okay. And then, it's like how it is for everything. Like, I'll draw, and, like, the drawing will excite me, so then I'll be like, and I'll draw, like, just a couple of things, and then I have to get up and daydream, and then, like, I'll go back, and I'll draw, like, one more line, and then I'll be like, oh, no, I can't, it's too much, and then I have to get up and daydream, like, yeah, I mean, it's really hard for me to concentrate. Like, I won't do that if there's a bunch of people in the room. I'll just, like, uneasily, like, yeah, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. But, I don't know, like, I don't know, it's really hard for me to just, like, have enough stamina to do that, you know? But, hold on. Okay, sorry, I had to check something. So, yeah, that's always been a problem for me. At the same time, I'm not like most other maladaptive daydreamers, because a lot of them, it causes me a lot of grievances, having maladaptive daydreaming, it really does. And there have been many times where I've tried to stop, but, like, to no avail. Like, I tried one time, I'm just like, no way in hell. Like, I got 3 days in, and I'm like, no way. Because, like, seriously, every couple of minutes, I'm like, no, it's just wired into me. So, like, I could either, like, hate myself for, like, the rest of my life, or I could just accept, like, who I am, and, like, just be happy with who I am. And, that's what I chose to do. And, I'm not saying, like, we don't need help, we do. I'm just saying, like, I personally don't think that we need to just stop. We just need to, like, have better control, if that makes sense. I realize some people won't agree with me, that's fine, but, that's just, my opinion. But, because you know, like, sometimes it's really amazing, and, like, it's really hard for me to do real life sometimes, but it's not like I trade in real life for that. Like, sometimes I do, but, not not really. I don't know how to explain that. Like, obviously, choosing between the real thing and the daydream thing, I'll choose the real thing. It's just, you know, we don't always get those opportunities. And usually it's hard for us because, we spend so much time in our head that we think things are always going to go a certain way. Like, we're kind of perfectionists. And when things don't, it really, you know, it bothers us. So then we go back in our head and, like, I'm just going to do it the right way. Like, the right way for us. And, I mean, it's okay. But, like, I don't know. I've been, just kind of accepting where things are, and honestly, it's done me a lot of good. I'm not gonna get too much into that either, but I'll say again, like, what I do. It depends on how excited I am when I'm daydreaming, and like what I'm daydreaming about. Like, if it's conflict, or yeah, if it's really dialogue ridden, I'll speak it. Like, I'll just speak it, and like sometimes quiet, sometimes loud. It just depends. If it's something crazy that's happening, like a war is going on, like a battle, like those happen sometimes in my daydreams. I'll start like or I won't even like act it out anymore. Like, I'll kind of like just do this like motion, or I'll even run. Sometimes like I'll bang up against the wall. Like, it's honestly, I hate saying that because it's embarrassing, but that's what I do, and like that's when the daydreams are like really bad. And I don't do those all the time, but I do those type of daydreams I usually do when I'm really, really stressed out, like the like conflict-ridden ones. And I'll usually do it to music, usually, like almost all the time. It's like I can't do it without music almost. I'll have to have some type of music. And because of that, I listen to like really weird music, like just from everywhere. Like, I'll listen to new music, like rock music, like freaking like dubstep music, classic music, composed music, ambient music, just everything, just whatever like happens to fit the daydream. That's what I'll daydream to. Let me think if I can think of anything else. Yeah, that's what I can think of, like, as far as how I daydream. I daydream, like, all over the board. Like, I used to have, like, animals that talked. Sometimes I daydream, like, about anime characters. Sometimes I daydream about cartoons. Sometimes they're, like, very nearly real people. Sometimes they're kind of like monsters. Sometimes they're like robots. They're the conflict between aliens and robots. You know, just whatever. Like, it goes all over the place. But usually I have like really complex stories. Yeah, I'll explain like my different types of daydreams later. But that's kind of what I daydream about. Sometimes it's really goofy, and I know it's really dramatic and cliche, but it's weird, because like when I'm daydreaming about it, it doesn't feel like that. But one more thing. Sometimes I'll have what I call like normal daydreams, where I like daydream about myself, and usually it's me talking in front of people. Like, I don't know, those are like my main daydreams about myself, is me monologuing to something, I don't know. But and I've been having those more since I've been like getting older. Like, when I was a kid, like, I hardly ever just daydreamed about myself. It was always about my characters. And I know a lot of other Maladaptive daydreamers, it's them and their characters. That was never really the case with me. It was always just my characters and my characters. Like, I was never in, and I'm still not. Like, I tried a couple times to like talk to my characters, and like I couldn't do it, because like I would have to do like their like side plus my own side, and it's like I couldn't react from my side, if that made sense. And like, it was really hard for me to go back into like their brain and react. So I'm like, no, I like leave myself out of like my story daydreams, because it's just better that way. Like, I can do like anything, you know, plus I'm not putting like unrealistic standards. Well, I do that with my normal daydreams, but like I don't do that with like my crazy my story driven daydreams, you know. Yeah, so at least when it comes to my, like, story or my character daydreams, I don't daydream about myself, not ever. Sometimes I'll, like, it's funny, like, I'll do, little, like, I don't know, hints, or, I don't know what it's called, nods, where, like, one of the characters are talking, and it's like, man, it's almost like some girl is planning this all out in their head, or something like that. I'll do that every once in a while, and, like, I'll have characters that, like, know, like, this one character, he's supposed to know everything, right? He's a really smart character, and, it'll be, like, like, he'll be, like, really, like, gothic sometimes, and he'll just be like, you know, we just live in, the finite mind of a finite girl inside of another finite universe inside of another finite mind, and we're all gonna die anyway, so we should just do our good work. And, like, they all look at him like, what are you talking about? And, like, he's the only one that knows, and I'm like, yep. And that'll be, like, the only time I even, like, ever kind of mention myself, but, like, usually won't do that. They'll just, like, do, like, goofy things like that, and then, like, run on the rooftops, or do whatever the heck the story, they have to do in that particular storyline. Yeah, so that's always been my type of daydreams, too, and, I know, sometimes that would cause me conflict, too, because then when I, like, had to come back to thinking about myself, you know, it would be really hard for me, because, like, I had been, like, another character, like, all day, and I have to come back to reality, and I'm like, it's really weird sometimes, you know, it's weird sometimes, but, yeah, that's, all I can think about right now with that, yeah, but, I don't know, things, with that have gotten better. Like, I still daydream a lot, especially now. Like, I might do another explanation video explaining what's going on in my life right now, but, I've had a lot of time to, be daydreaming, so I do, but, like, when I have to be, like, doing other stuff, I don't as much, if that makes sense. But, yeah, so I hope that kind of cleared things up, and, maybe other people daydream that way. Like I said, I'm going to be making a couple more videos like this, plus other explanation videos, so, yeah, you know, if you want to get caught up, subscribe, and everything, that'd be cool. Also, I'm still working on my animation videos, it's just taken me a while, plus I've started on another one too, because the other one was taking so long, and I just wanted to start on the other one, so, I don't know, I can't give a timeline for that, but maybe in a couple of weeks, so, yeah. Alright, so, thanks for watching.